like different communities, they're not necessarily familiar with the progression. So back in 2010, our team created this framework called Angular.js that turned out it was great. So a lot of people adopted it. There were hundreds of thousands of developers using it, and it was the most popular solution out, one of the most popular solutions out there. But at a certain point, we hit like TypeScript emerged, for example. TypeScript started getting traction. The web platform started evolving, and we really needed like a new, better solution that was better suited for the state of the ecosystem. So our team developed Angular, which is in fact a different framework. We used to call it Angular 2 because it's the second version of Angular.js, but it's like a very different framework that we have been building since 2016. Now we have about 2.8 million developers using Angular. And over time, we noticed that, we plateaued for a bit just because we kept building internal features for the inside of the framework that didn't really have any developer impact, any new features. But for the past about 2 years, as I mentioned, we have been growing the ergonomics of the public API, and we kept developing the framework. We've developed plenty of new features. There's standalone components, new control flow, deferrable views. So we want to reflect this advancement in Angular with the new documentation website as well. And that's how we came up with angular.dev and the refreshed brand that better represents Angular nowadays.
Nice. So first of all, I love the logo. I think everyone loves the logo. I've been used Angular professionally for years because I've been working for the European Space Agency, and during my interview they asked me about the Angular framework. So I want to say that probably Angular got me like this job. It was 6 years ago, and I've used it also. So different versions, like also in that previous job. Not many people know this because I'm more focused on DevOps, Docker stuff, but for the front end, and also Angular has been the first front end framework that I tried. It was with a Maximilian Schwarzmuller Udemy course. I think it was 2015 or something like this. So I don't know. Let's keep the nostalgia effect aside, and let's go back on here. So Minko, how do you want to show? Because you mentioned many things. So probably now the problem is like, from where do we start?
Yeah, I was thinking if we can start, maybe I can just show you quickly how you can start learning Angular in here. And from there, we're going to build a small application. I'll build it directly in my terminal with VS Code and the language service extension. So we're going to build kind of like a more real development environment. So when you go on Angular.dev, you can give the framework a try right here. You just scroll to the bottom, and you get this IDE kind of embedded in the browser. This is just a web container where we are running the Angular CLI right here, and you have a terminal window here. Well, we cannot run this command, and we can see that we're running Angular on port 4200. So this is running in a service worker, in fact. And you can modify this application. You can interact with it. Let's say we want to, update the label. We can update the label, and just everything is going to work as expected. So we built on top of that, and we have an interactive tutorial now that follows the same pattern. You have an interactive web container, and you have a series of steps that you can go through in order to learn Angular. So here you can, let's say, update to Angular Universe. And this is going to directly update your templates. You can change the color to wherever the tutorial says. And, oops, sorry, that's the wrong place I updated.
And, I'll try this tomorrow. So basically now I'm cheating because I'm just watching, but I'm not doing anything. But tomorrow I'll try exactly this because I'm a huge fan of this kind of tutorials. I think they are perfect. For example, if you want to live stream and have some fun, because of course you make some mistakes. You also see like in your case. So tomorrow I'll try this, and now I'm basically cheating because I'm just taking a look. But yeah,
there are way more steps to go through. So.
Wow.
And,
I'll try, maybe I'll be faster tomorrow. Yeah.
There is also a tutorial that we built for people who prefer to build locally. So if you click right here, you have this same tutorial, which you can either follow directly in the browser, or
I met Mark. I met Mark in Atlanta at Render.dl. He's also very tall. Like I met him.
Yeah, Mark and I are working really closely together. He built this tutorial, which you can either follow directly in the web container in the browser. You can alternatively play it on YouTube. There is a step-by-step like video tutorial on how you can build a simple application, or you can also install like Node.js, like have the Angular CLI and just run it on your machine.
Nice.
And there is a standard documentation here. Just if you prefer to learn Angular this way, just concept by concept rather than following a tutorial, you can also do it. You can learn about the essentials, how you can compose components, managing dynamic data, dynamic state, and so on and so forth.
I like it. I really like it. I think I know. First of all, I like the style. Is this all new? Like this website, or basically you did something?
It's brand new. We built it. Like it took us about, I would say maybe about 10 months to build it. We built it in a private repository first, just because we wanted to experiment with some of the newest features in Angular, and we were not sure how it's going to take. So how long it's going to take to build it. So we started working in a private repo, and together with the brand and the website and all the features in version 17, we released everything together about 10 days ago.
Nice. Yes. I remember I think we decided to make this live stream. I think the day of the launch, so it was something like this. And also today is the 17, so Angular 17 on the 17.
True.
It seems perfect. It seems perfect. So
yeah, good timing.
Nice. Yes. What else? What do you want to show us? Maybe you mentioned some cool features. I don't know how much we can actually code, but maybe you can just show something, or maybe we can have a discussion. If you have any question, you can. I think this is the perfect moment, because I don't know when you will have again like Minko directly that you can ask something about the feature. I don't know about something that maybe changed, or I don't know. What's your? I have a question for you. Like, what's your favorite like feature of this launch?
Yeah. So the favorite feature from like Angular itself, this is deferrable views that I'm going to show you just in a little bit. I'm really excited about this new website as well, just because it enables way more people to learn more about Angular through this more interactive and simpler user journey. And I would say these two. I really love the visual identity too, though, but they're in different categories too. Each feature is in a slightly different category.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say I can just now build a simple project. Is my font big enough?
Your font is big enough. The only thing is that the window is small. I don't know what you are sharing. Yeah, probably you can. Usually I put this like, I leave the desktop as a sort of frame. But yes, I see Arvind.
Yeah. So while this is, I'm just creating a new application with the Angular CLI. I just typed ng-new. Just type here ng-new to do app 3.
I like
it. And that's usually the way you start using Angular. You just install Angular CLI in your on your machine. First, you need to have Node.js, and after that, you install with npm Angular CLI.
Exactly.
And ng-new is the way for you to create a new project. So I can go to what is it, to do app 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I mean nice. And so I want to see ng-serve. Yeah.
And you start your project just by running ng-serve.
Remember it. Nice. Nice. And everything we are doing is live 100%. This is not a video. We're just showcasing this, let's say, directly from Minko's laptop.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I'll replace Angular.js right here. So yeah, and that's the Angular application that you're going to get out of the box. That's the new app. Pretty simple app.
Okay.
If we look at the source code, we're going to see something interesting here. So this is the application in development mode. If you look at it, you can see that there are some inline styles, and this whole content here is rendered directly on the server. So we enabled server-side rendering from the beginning. That is one of the new things that we shipped as part of version 17. We previously had an option to do server-side rendering if you wanted to, but you couldn't start a project since the beginning with SSR, just because we wanted to do some improvements in the build system before we do that from the start. And
nice.
And now I can just I'll open just VS Code and go to the project directory and to do some code changes.
Nice.
That's going to be the wrong application. I have plenty of to-do applications for every.
Yeah, I know. That's a normal problem. Like, especially if I into developer relations, like you have like 10 projects.
Yeah.
Even more. Maybe you can make the font a bit bigger. Yes,
a little too big. Here we go.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah. Like so I'm just going to. If we look at it, let's go to the app component. That's the usual structure of an Angular project. You have main.ts, where you bootstrap an application. This will be, I guess, in React, you just call render with a component. In Angular, we do bootstrap application and you pass a component. And this component here, the app component, that's how a component looks like right now. It has some state. It has some state right here. It has a template. It has styles. Now, many people prefer to build their components directly in one file, and that's okay. That's an option. Here we can just say h1. Hello. Here we go, and this refreshes the browser and says hello.
Exactly. So yes, I think it depends. Maybe, I don't know, from your background. So, for example, since Angular has been my first front-end framework, if I code in Angular, probably I prefer an external file. Yeah. But maybe for people coming from another framework, they prefer to have it here. For me, the separation, it's better, but I don't know, it's we'll never get out of this discussion. But like, it's no, I like that you have like possibility to adapt in different ways.
Absolutely the same here. What I usually do is when I have a small template, I sometimes keep it inline, and when it grows above certain number of lines of code, I just extract it to an external template.
But yeah,
now,
yes,
we're building like a small demo, or just delete the external template, and we can use this one here. So first, this could be our to-do app, let's say, and we can have a list of to-dos. Each to-do would be, let's say, learn Angular, and on our title, build apps. And we're going to put an ID of the to-do. That is 0, is going to be ID 1.
Cool.
So the first thing that we'll have to, let's first do my to-do app. The first thing we need to do is iterate over the individual to-do items. So classically in Angular, what we had to do is something like that. Let's say an ordered list. We have an ordered list that is
sort of ng4, something like that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And here we have ng4 let to-do of to-dos, and for each, this is to-dos here, sorry. And for each one of the to-dos, we would print the title. And we can see that this works. It's fine. But it's kind of very weird syntax. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this in a little bit. But alternatively, now in Angular version 17, we have this new for syntax that allows you to have a to-do of to-dos and specify a track function, which here it will be to-do.id, where you can print the individual to-dos.
I
didn't.
like this syntax. I like this syntax a lot.
Yeah, I'll make it look the same. Just put an order to list, and here I'll put the same thing. So yeah. So a few differences. This one here looks way more natural. If you know JavaScript, you kind of know the syntax already as well. The new one, you don't have to learn like the star syntax and know what the star syntax gets the sugar to. It just gets really overly complicated. And it's also shorter. I would say I don't know if it's shorter, but like it has this track function, which is essential, which is currently mandatory. Like if you remove the track function, the track expression, this will just not compile. We should get an error. We are doing that because we would like to be able to track the identities of the individual elements, so that we know when you update one item to know to. So when we do re-rendering, to know which items only to re-render, rather than re-rendering the whole list by default, or rather than making implicit assumptions about the equality of your different to-dos. Because let's say you have another to-do list, and this in this other to-do list you have the exact same learn Angular. Let's say we put this. We have this twice, and here this to-do item is exactly the same as this one, because they have the same ID. But if Angular compares the identity of this object and with the identity of this object, it is going to think that they are different. So in certain cases, this can lead to suboptimal update experience.
Cool.
Now, sorry.
No, I mean, cool. Just one question. So is this track mandatory to put?
Yeah.
With something.
Yeah.
And it should be like a sort of primary key or something like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something unique.
Yeah. Something unique.
Okay.
It could be. It could be even this. It could be even this. This way, Angular is going to compare the items by using equality check. So internally, it will do something like, it will compare.
Okay.
It will do something like this. This to-dos 0 equal this to-dos 1. That's how it's going to compare them.
Okay.
And if we say this, it's going to compare by ID. The same thing, but by ID. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Like it.
Maybe
we should work on the style. No, I'm joking. Like, of course.
One benefit of this control flow is that we worked on making it significantly faster. So if you look at the framework benchmarks here, let me also add Angular in the past, ng4, let's say. If we look at Angular, this is Angular with the new control flow, and this is Angular with the old control flow.
Okay.
See, Angular with the old control
a bit
flow,
bigger. Can you make it a bit bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Like a couple of more, like. Because we like numbers, we like this sort of fights. Some people also, someone asked also about this. So let's go, because this is getting interesting.
I'll just remove a couple of rows so that we can see the numbers at the bottom. Here we go. If we compare the previous ng4 with React, it is still performing a little faster. But if we compare the current control flow with the old control flow, it is significantly faster. And Angular is here as fast as Vue, faster than Svelte 4, and Solid is really well optimized. Good job to Ryan for making it so fast. So it is Solid is as fast as JavaScript in terms of in this benchmark. So these are some of the improvements with the control flow, and we have the exact same thing with ngIf. Let's say we would like to show only even IDs. Why not? If to-do.id we show it. Here we go. So we have the exact same.
I like this syntax. I need to get used, but I really like this. Syntax. So if okay, to the title.
Yeah, I'll just remove this for now.
Okay.
All right. Another exciting feature from the new release that I really love is the so-called deferrable views. Now, for the purpose, I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to call it, I don't know, details component. And this new component,
NGGC. No.
exactly, yeah, that's how you
I still remember something.
and here we're going to make it standalone. This is a flag that you still need to provide for now. We're going to put a selector, which is going to be app details, let's say. And the templates. The template is going to be simple. Just we're going to say details components.
Okay.
And let's say we what we need to do now is import this component.
Yes, so in the module. This is the inside the component, inside the app component.
Yeah, that with standalone components, this is another feature that we introduced kind of lately, I guess, like maybe version 14. Standalone components where rather than using an ng module to import the component that you're using, you're directly importing them in the app component, which, because the app component uses the details component, it makes more sense. It is just more intuitive.
Okay.
And we're probably going to take this one step further in the upcoming versions. Rather than importing it here this way, we have been exploring what if we just do this.
Okay.
So you're able to use the component from here. This is going to be an implicit import. This doesn't work right now, but that's something that we're exploring to make it happen in future versions. Yeah.
Okay.
For now, I'll just return it back. And here we can just put a details tag when we save. This is just like built-in HTML feature. And we put the details, what was it? App details. So when we expand it, we see the details component. Now, when we open the network tab, we'll see that we expand the details component and nothing happens.
Okay.
Something that we can do is let's say we can add a reference here. Let's say H1, another title, or H2 maybe, header. And we can create an ID. We can call it as an ID. We can call it a header. So here, what we can do is use the the new so-called deferrable views, and we can wrap this in a deferrable view. So I
think I know what's going to happen here. Let's see.
Yeah, and we can add something called on viewport, and we can put the header. Let's see actually if it happens in development mode. I don't know if it's going to happen. We may need to build production. All right, it happened. So let me do that again. So I'm clicking on details, and this renders this like downloads lazily another JavaScript chunk. And when we open this chunk, we see that this is the actual details component.
So this does mean that until we don't click on the expand, this is not loaded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And this works in a very interesting way. So usually, what happens under the hood is there is a so-called intersection observer API, which you can attach to a particular element on the page. And when this element enters the viewport, Angular knows that it needs to download lazily this app details component. So we can do that. We can do it in a different way. Let's say I'm just going to add a bunch of BR tags. Not how I write my code usually. And I'm going to put this details component right here. I'm going to put this H2 right here. Oh, I need more BR tags. Here we go.
Love it.
Now we can start observing again what's going to happen. So I scroll down, header became visible, and we downloaded lazily this chunk, and it is now rendered. So the on viewport just creates this trigger. Alternatively, there are simpler uses of defer. We can just use this. And we can see that we still loaded the details component, but we loaded it immediately. It is still lazily loaded. Let me just move it outside right here. See when I refresh the page, the details component gets rendered a little bit later, because we are lazily loading it and we're rendering it after the application has been already rendered. This is the default behavior, but which is not bad. It's the default behavior just because it works in most cases. But defer also, what excites me a lot about the version 17 release is that we made it so easy to use deferred loading directly within an intersection observer in just one line of code. That's the whole thing that you need.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, it makes it let's say easy to implement. It's a good developer experience, I would say.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for, and we're collecting feedback. So if people find opportunities to make this even better, they should just open an issue and let us know. We can iterate on it really fast right now, because this feature is still in developer preview, which means that we can evolve it really fast, and we can address feedback quickly without like locking the API to follow semantic versioning. So this way you can very easily make your application first with for. You can make it render really fast, and it is pretty simple. And also you can make it load really fast, because we don't really need this details component to render until we expand this expander, right? We want it to show only when we expand the details. So
yes, great. I have a question. I don't know if it's a bit too technical, but like if you don't understand, just let me know in the chat. Like, so you are importing another component is here, like the details component. It's imported in the app component. Like, what about the context? Like, I don't know if it has I don't know if the details component has some state. Like how is it like handled by the parent component, which in this case is the app component?
Yeah, we can pass state as well. So like, for example, if it has an input, right? So if, let's say, if this accepts an input, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Just want to see. So also as a refresher, because it has been a while that I didn't try, but I remember that like passing these, because usually I remember that to pass this state we use something called service.
Yeah, there are a few different ways you can do it. Here we are going to just pass an input. That's something you can do. It's not assignable as type string. Why is it not assignable? Let's see. I don't know. We can pass a message. Oh yeah, it's a string. Oh yeah, I mean it's a string, obviously. We can just pass some message. We can, I don't know, we can pass to this 0 title. So, but it needs to be an expression now. Here we go.
Okay.
And it shows up here. That's one way to pass state. So what happens is I guess what Angular will do under the hood, when we click on details, the intersection observer is going to throw an event, and it's going to say to Angular, hey, it looks like the header is visible now. We should start lazily loading the app details component. We're going to lazily load the app details component. We're going to render it, and we're going to pass after that the title of the first to-do, and we're going to render the update on the screen.
Cool. It's good. It's simple. I like it. Nice.
Something else that works with defer out of the box is, let's say we want to, as you said, you have a service details service, let's say. And this details service, it's just going to be a class. Actually, it might be better. Yeah.
Usually, yeah, I remember we had something like injectable with as a decorator, but I don't know.
Yeah, you use injectable so that you can make it available in the app component. I'm thinking if we make it available in the app component this way, we will not lazily load it. So we may want to use something different.
Okay.
For a purpose, let's say we want to do some special formatting of the message pipe.ts. So we are going to use something called pipe in Angular. And here we can have name, what is it?
Okay, Angular core. Can you remember? Like, I think I've used the pipes. Maybe they were to filter something, like to filter like some view. Like you have a list of items and you want to filter. I don't know if I'm saying something correctly. So if you can refresh my memory about the pipe.
Yeah, the pipes are just a way to format information. So standalone true. Here we're going to make the pipe is going to receive a message and is going to make it uppercase. Just something simple. It's very, very useful when you want to format currency, let's say.
It's to like change a view or change but this is not change the data.
No,
just for the front end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. We don't want to touch the uppercase in the database. This is just to showcase something cool on the user. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can import it right here, and we can just apply it to how did we call it? Message. I think we can just apply it, and here when we expand, we just made it uppercase.
Can you? Okay. How did you import this pipe in the app component? No, you put this in the details component.
Yeah. Let me just like rename them, put the different name because I made it.
Okay. No, otherwise, okay. Okay.
So yeah, what I did is I created a new class named pipe with a pipe decorator, and inside of it, in this pipe, I'm receiving a message, and I'm just turning it to, I'm receiving like a value, and I'm turning it to uppercase.
And, and then in the details component, you import. Okay, now I see. You import the message pipe in the details component.
Yeah.
Got it. And then.
And I applied it.
The template itself. Because it's a very short template. So basically, this line is the only one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but like if I add something else, this will not be formatted with the uppercase formatter.
Yeah.
Like if we had the 3 lines and we want just the second one to have uppercase, we can do it.
Yeah. Here I'm just taking the message, just the input being
Got it.
And when I expand it, we can see that here we have the details component that we lazily load. But since the details component also uses the pipe, we're lazily loading the pipe as well.
Okay.
So yeah, Angular under the hood is going to figure out, the details component here needs to be lazily loaded. Even though we're importing it like this, I need to extract it into a lazily loaded chunk. And it looks at the details component and says, looks like we're using an uppercase pipe here, this pipe. Looks like I need to lazily load this pipe as well together with the details component. And yeah, that's how it works. A lot of simple API, and Angular does a lot of this heavy lifting for us under the hood.
I like it. Yes, I'll try probably something similar. Also watch this again later. But yes, thank you. We're already at 40 minutes in this video. I don't know if this is possible, but this was kind of fast. Yeah, Minko, can you introduce me a bit the signals of Angular? Because like I've been heard them, but like I've been like slacking for a while. I said like, okay, I'll try this later at some point. But like, can you explain to me like in layman terms? I don't know if we can make an example. So maybe I can play a bit around. I have the idea of the concept, but maybe I don't know if you want to show or just say something about it if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm going to comment this out for now, because we don't need it for now. And let's say, let's see what will be a good example. Yeah, let's say we have signal of the time. Let's say we have time, and this is signal of date dot. Let's say just new date. Here in the application, we can put the signal and we can read it. And we just see the date as we would expect.
How can you, how can you, so let me see. So there is a keyword called signal.
Yeah.
So so time equal signal into define this. But is this like sort of an event? I don't know if I'm saying something dumb.
It could be. Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
So see, that's the difference between previously without signals, you would do this and it will still work. But and it will still we still see the same thing. We just wrap it. What we do is just wrap this in a signal.
Okay.
And in order to read the value, see, because the signal is a function. In order to read the value, it says time is a function and it should be invoked. That's what the Angular compiler says, and we just invoke it.
Okay.
And it shows the value. So now the benefits we're getting with signals, there are quite a few benefits. I'll just talk about one of them right now, because some of them we're going to see these benefits in version 18. Let's say
spoiler if you're watching. Yeah.
We can create computed, and in computed we can just do return this .time . We read it and we get month.
Okay.
And let's say here we set like here's time and here is month. This is the 10th month. That's like, I guess we start from 0, and that's why it is the 10th month. Even though
I mean, maybe it's a number that 10. I don't know. Maybe we want to look it a bit like for humans, so for normal humans. But it's okay. Nice.
Let's see.
Okay.
Month plus 1.
Probably there is a way to get to also. Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, we solved this.
Month number, let's say.
Okay.
And this is going to be
nice. So now to make so basically now to make this example, you took something that is already maybe inside the machine that we can read. But of course we can have signals usually maybe with our own data that we're fetching from another base. Something I think that's more like maybe it will be a bit more complicated to set it up. But that's the idea.
Yeah.
So signals are just waiting for something to happen to re-render or do things.
Yeah. So they bring a few benefits. Here I'm showing one of them, the computed one. So see how we read the month right here, and the month would not be updated until the time changes. So if we update the time signal, then the month is going to become invalid because we may have a new month. Let's say we update the date to, I don't know, something in January. Then we will know that we will have to update specifically the place where the month is being used and the date. But so we create a computed signal, and we know what values the computed signal depends on. And when one of these values changes, we update the computed signal when we reflect the changes in the view. But if the value has not changed, then we're going to keep the pre-existing value in the view. So it enables Angular to do some like lower level optimizations that refresh the view only when a new value is available. And that's one of the benefits. And the other benefit is that now reading, I showed you like that was like before how we would do it in Angular before without signals. We'll do it like that. We will read the dates, we will just read it as a simple value. And this works well, but it doesn't tell us exactly where this value is being used. When we read the value as a signal and we call this function, internally we can keep track of where we have read this value. And we know that that's the only place where Angular is using the time. So when the time changes, it knows exactly where to go and update the time without having to do unnecessary computations, without having to traverse the entire component tree like Angular used to do, or like React does it right now with Virtual DOM. So it just makes things way faster, way more efficient.
Yeah, and of course this is a very simple example, so maybe we can see the benefit, but like think about having a component or longer component, or maybe can you use signals across multiple components, or just for a single component?
Yeah, you can have even a service that uses a signal.
You can use signals in services.
Yeah, signals are pretty convenient also because they also have something called effect. So when you say, that's actually everything that signals are. We covered everything. We covered what a signal is, what a computed is, and effects. That's it.
Nice. Signals video coming soon on this channel. Now that I know. Cool.
Let's say we do set interval, and in the set interval we do, and let's say also it's every second. And here we do this. So time set new dates.
We are setting this signal of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And if we go to the console did I save?
Okay.
Oh, my browser, like something happened in my browser. Anyway, what is supposed to happen here is every second the effect is going to figure out that the time has changed, and it is going to log this. Oh yeah,
okay.
I see. What I did is I saved it with 0 milliseconds, and now my browser is like struggling.
Got it.
That's okay.
You acted.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's these are the three abstractions of signal: computed, and effect.
Okay.